Hi everyone, this is Adrian at 18 Echo SF. A little while ago I mentioned that I was getting ready to head out to another defensive handgun course at a school that I have been to previously. It's called International Tactical Training Seminars. It's just east of Burbank, California, which is in the Los Angeles area. It's in Angeles National Forest. Fabulous school run by a former 30-year LAPD Metro and SWAT unit operator and instructor. His name's Scott Reitz, and his wife Brett McQueen, who also is an instructor. And so I wanted to explain why I decided to go back again, and the two weapons that I used, and a book that is available from them as well as a DVD. So, to the school. Let's talk about why I have decided to go again. I'm getting older, of course. I'm 68 years old, and as I have mentioned previously, I am former United States Army Special Forces weapons and commo. So, I have a background in defensive skills, offensive skills as well. And when I was a young man, back in my mid-20s and a little later, I'd like to think that I was a fairly skilled operator at the time. But, as we age, those skills go away for a lot of different reasons. The aging process is one. Your eyes go away, your balance. There's just a lot of different issues that come into play as we get older. But the mindset, of course, is always there. And the problems are compounded a bit by the fact that at most ranges, the indoor ranges that I go to locally, you're stuck in just one lane, and all you're doing is shooting paper. And the only real thing you can do at those types of ranges is things like concentrating on sights, trigger, and follow through. And at my particular indoor range, they do allow you to draw from a holster, which is an added benefit. The outdoor range that I go to here, I am not able to do that. So even though it's nice being able to shoot outside, I lose the advantage of having to draw from a holster. So heading out to a defensive handgun school, no matter which ones you go to, is really beneficial because they get you ready for the fight, not the shooting, but literally get your mindset wrapped around what happens in a gunfight using a gun. So being able to go to a school once or twice a year, if the money's there, is really beneficial because it keeps your mind focused on something that can take place in a matter of seconds and a matter of milliseconds in making the decision to shoot. Fights happen over a very short period of time, particularly gunfights. So going to a school like ITTS is very, very beneficial, worth every penny that you'll ever spend. And going traveling and ammunition and the cost of classes and stuff, it can add up. But over the course of time, if you amortize that over a day, it's not really that expensive compared to what your life's worth. So I highly recommend thinking about going to defensive handgun training somewhere. If you, after I finish with this, I'll put links down in the remarks section to the ITTS website, and if you have any questions that you don't find answered on their website, which I think you will, but if any personal questions of me, feel free to PM me or leave comments, and I'll be glad to to respond. I don't have that many subscribers, so I'd like to thank with that I'd like to thank Deadhead71, who was really very, very nice to recommend my channel to the people that watch him, because he mentioned the fact that I had very few subscribers, and I didn't decide to do YouTube videos to get tens of thousands of subscribers. I just did it for my own enjoyment and to kind of pass along, any good things that maybe, I might be able to to give people who might find my channel by luck. It was interesting, when I was at the course last weekend, there was a guy in an advanced handgun course who had been in a course I was in previously, and we spoke for a bit. And later in the day he said, oh, I just wanted to let you know I happened to find a YouTube video you did on one of your 1911s. So I guess it's a small world after all. Anyway, the course that I went to was a 2-day course. We had 16 students. There were 3 women and 13 guys. We had the 2 instructors are current LAPD SWAT officers and great instructors. I had one of them in a previous class, and they were just wonderful. They took their time. For anybody who's making any mistakes, errors, things they noticed that you could be doing better, they made sure everyone was getting hits using the techniques that they had described to us. So from that standpoint, I don't think there could be better instructors out there anywhere. Saturday was weather-wise, was an absolute miserable day. It was raining and cold and wet, and but like most gun schools, they run their classes rain or shine, and it really went off well. We shot over 200 rounds, maybe 250 during the course of the day, and we went through some very basic skills in the beginning, and then we went through speed reloads and chamber checks and failure drills and malfunction drills, and all of it in the rain. So, the rain let up a little bit during part of the day, but it never stopped completely. So, but it was still a great time to be out there. And on that day, I'll talk about the gun that I used on that day. This is my, as some of you know, my Kimber Pro Carry. This is the gun that I changed. I have a video out there on me changing the compressed full-length guide rod and spring unit that comes in this gun with a GI-style guide rod. And I've gone back and forth about whether or not to use it, because this is an aluminum frame, and I began to notice what I thought was a little bit of excessive wear, at least I thought it was, down in the hood of the frame, and down near where the barrel link slot is. But as it turns out, I think that wear is common, and I just didn't notice it in the beginning. So I have now gone back to using that short GI guide rod because I prefer it. The gun is no less accurate, for sure, and it is much easier to tear the gun down for cleaning purposes, which was very handy this past weekend, even though I did use a different gun on Sunday. And that if you have any questions or want to find out exactly what I did with that short guide rod, there's another video out there. I'll put a link to it at the bottom as well. Or feel free to get in touch or send me a comment, and I'll be glad to talk about it with you. This gun ran flawlessly. You know, I am a 1911 fan. I used 1911s pistol-wise exclusively in my SF military days, and I'm just so used to them that even though I have owned and fired all of the modern handguns, the Smith & Wesson M&Ps and Springfield XDs and the Glocks, I prefer the 1911 platform. It's just the muscle memory for me is just there from manipulating that safety to taking it off, and I'm just so used to it that it's a comfortable gun for me. And I know there are people out there that have said they don't think the 1911 is a reliable defensive gun, and I would completely disagree with that. I think you have to know the gun, you have to understand the manual of arms, and you have to be willing to take the gun down, clean it when you're done shooting, lubricate it properly. But my guns run perfectly. They're not, and neither one of my guns over the entire weekend, not one had a single malfunction, which is exactly what I expect with handguns. these are here to protect our lives and the lives of our family. And if that thing doesn't go bang when I pull the trigger, well then that's a problem. So for me, these are just it. I love 4-inch guns, 4¼ inch guns, commander length, which both of these weapons are. Even though I have owned 5-inch guns too, but for me, I love how easy they come to hand and how easy they are to move and manipulate easily. So for me, this is my handgun of choice. So it was wonderful. The magazines really took a beating on Saturday. We did all speed reloads, no tactical reloads at all. So the speed reloads, magazines went into the water, into the dirt, into the grime, and they got pretty grungy. And as we're loading magazines, I can feel the grit in there, but they still worked. So that evening, back in my hotel, I did tear this gun apart and just wipe it off and re-lubed it because I wasn't quite sure I was going to use my Colt the next day, which I did, and I'll talk about that. But I just re-lubed it. I didn't bring a bore brush, so I didn't even clean the bore out. But I did apply a little bit more lube and put it back together. And I did take apart my magazines and clean them well because they were pretty grungy. And I was going to use them in the Colt, which I did on Sunday. So let me put this down. Luckily on Sunday, 1 second, we'll clear this for you guys. On Sunday, the sun was out. There were some clouds, but it was pretty sunny, and the weather was just beautiful. Thank God, because on Sunday, part of our training was the training on. If I didn't mention it before, on Saturday was from 9 to 5, 9 in the morning till 5 at night, and on Sunday it was from 2 in the afternoon till 10 at night, because we did some night shooting as well using flashlights. And but we also on Sunday did alternate shooting positions: kneeling, speed kneeling, both kneels, back on our haunches, and prone. And even though we had pads to lay on, even the pads got dirty because the ground had been wet, and you know, so if it was raining like it was on Saturday, we would have been soaked. And even though most of us had rain gear, it still would have been very miserable being down on the ground. But everybody did well. Instructors were happy with how everyone did. I took my Colt Combat Commander. This is an all-steel gun, as most of you probably are aware. This gun, again, ran flawlessly. We shot another 200, 225 rounds maybe on Sunday. Not one single malfunction. And the magazines, I cleaned them well, so they were they ran good as well. So we had a great time. The class, let me set this back down. The class was absolutely run fantastic. The instructors were incredible, and I can't speak highly enough about the school. Anybody who lives locally for sure should spend the time and the money to go. I'm returning later in the year. I'm going to do an advanced handgun course to try and keep my skills up a bit, as I explained earlier. And my wife is going to an all-women's class, a one-day class, in late April, which Brett McQueen, Scott's wife, teaches that class. And because my wife shoots right now, she has a, I think some of you may already know this, she has a Kimber stainless Target 2 9mm 1911, beautiful, beautiful pistol, and she shoots extremely well. And so now she'll go back, and I will now begin to teach her how to draw from a holster, which she doesn't do at this point. And by the time she gets to the school in April, she will at least have you know, that skill under her belt, so she's safe with her gun, you know, taking it out of a holster and reholstering as well. Again, the school and Scott, they have this book. I've had this book for a while. I did a video on it. It's called The Art of Modern Gunfighting. There is a DVD that doesn't come with the book, but is also available, which I also highly recommend, because it shows Scott manipulate. It shows basically what they teach in their Handgun 1 course from a safety standpoint and some of the shooting skills. And it also shows Scott manipulating various forms of semi-automatics, from 1911s to Glocks, to the double action Smith & Wesson 1911s, and revolvers. And he can manipulate those guns left or right-handed. It's really something. He's one of the best I've ever seen doing that. I'm not talking about the shooting of the gun, which he can do just about as well both hands, but I'm talking about manipulating the guns themselves, from loading, reloading, clearing the weapons, and he does that equally well with both hands. The book is fantastic. Inside there's a nice picture of him back in his SWAT days, and some pictures of him when he was in the academy, Los Angeles Police Academy. And then further in the book there are, again, photos of him manipulating these guns, as I just mentioned, and him on the range as well, showing you know, stance and grip and sight acquisition and you know, all the things that you learn in very basic courses, but that you need to relearn over a period of time, because we tend to take some of them for granted. So again, I highly recommend the book. I think it's $34.95 if I remember right, and you can get it on their website. So, you know, I'll include the link to their website at the bottom of this, as well as a link to my the change out I did on the GI guide rod in my Kimber. If you have any questions, feel free to leave some comments if you want, or send me a PM. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And I hope all of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and hopefully I'll make another video before Christmas, but just in case I don't, have a wonderful Christmas holiday, and stay well and safe out there.